we have completed the first chapter, Abhayam Sattva Sansuti Jnana Yoga Vyavastiti Danam Dhamma Yajna Swadhyaya Tapa Arjavam. Also in the second verse we have seen Ahimsa, Satya, Akrodha, Tyaga, Shanti, also Apaishvanam. So we just started also seeing that Daya. So here he uses word Daya, means the compassion. So compassion not Manusyesu but Bhutesu. So when he says that Daya with reference to Bhutesu, the compassion, the kindness to all beings with reference to all living beings. So that means the person understands the other's problem. And not only understands others' problem, also understands others' contribution. Both. See, understanding others' problem, there what happens? You will be in upper hand. So that kindness, whatever you will have, some type of superiority complex, expectation, and also bussing over. Whereas here is being talked that not only I understand their problem, also I appreciate their contribution. It's like exactly dog. So dogs also create nuisance, also contributes. So if it is for common people, if it is your dog, it only contributes. If it is neighbor's dog, only creates problem, including putty. So including coming and dropping in your place. But here we say that understanding both. So when you understand both, so automatically you develop a sense of kindness. So when this sense of kindness is being developed, then one good thing happens is that your thinking is not burdened. And when your thinking is not burdened, one major thing happens when there is Daya. You allow the nature to take care. You allow the law to take over. You don't poke your nose in each and everything. Get my point? Because if you observe, starting in the home, so if there is some spider, so what happens? If you are scared of spider, you start looking for anything and everything, stick, this, that, of course, spray. So you want to take that situation under your control. And yes, you have completed. Then what happens? After 1 day or 2 days, if you are in a jungle in Himalaya, especially here, don't worry, the bigger one will come. So you need to get acquainted with it, okay? As long as it doesn't, do not disturb you, doesn't create much nuisance with you, okay, go, get out. Push it, that's all. You understand what I'm trying to say? This is a small example. That means when I am not kind to other beings in any given situation, indirectly I want to boss over the situation. I want to take control over the situation. So that means the kartutvam in me of course, the kartruta means the sense of doership in me, because the sense of enjoyership is predominant. So the bhoktrutam and kartrutam is so strong in me. Without my knowledge, I want to take the situation under my control. It's like we call as taking law into hands. Then you may ask question, okay, that means we should allow everything, whatever is happening. Yes, because remember, whatever to be done, it is to be done in keeping with the law. You have to allow it. You cannot decide. So when you decide, you not only complicate your life, you also complicate the surrounding. Does it happen or not? So here, Daya means, with reference to Bhutesu, with reference to all living beings, developing kindness and compassion. Then, next one is called Aloluptam. So, Loluptam means temptation. Because Dhamma also is same thing, but Dhamma is general, having control over. Here, Aloluptam means freedom from temptation. It is in a specific area. So that is like, general doctor and like specific doctor. So here is being said that freedom from temptation, Aloluptam. So why this is being highlighted? Generally, what happens is, we say, whatever we do first time, sometimes we stumble upon, we make a mistake. And it is called deliberate mistake. We stumble upon or we make mistake. So first time we call as deliberate mistake. So with reference to that mistake, we are boss, the object is slave. Clear? I'll give you the example, very safe example is smoking or alcohol or whatever. So let us take the example of, this smoking. Especially those days, nowadays I don't know. In our teenage time, it was a craze. Because, two things you have to prove. One is a mustache. So mustache has to come so that you become a man. So hidingly take the razor of a father and try to remove it so that your mustache has come. And in the hostels, with the peer pressure, so then you need to smoke. Even if you do not know how to smoke, so some things should come out. So to prove, because this is the peer pressure. I am giving the example sake, okay? So first time when a person, a child or whoever smokes, it is a deliberate mistake. Now, second time when the person starts smoking, is no more a deliberate mistake. So first time the person is the boss, cigarette is a slave. Let me see how it looks. Let me see how it tastes. Let me see how I feel. Can you see this point? Proudly the fellow will know. And outside also come. You understand? All these things will be done. And of course, if you see Rajini movie, so that means if you are Rajini fan, so that with the cigarette you will do, throw this way, that way, all these things you will do it, okay? That's another level, okay? So each is being done, every action is being done with deliberate. Now because of deliberation, now cigarette becomes weaker, I am stronger. Now, due course of time, cigarette becomes stronger, I becomes weaker. So the cigarette becomes master, I become a slave. Can you see the difference, how it happens slowly? Then what happens? Slowly what I do, I make sure that I should not read anything that talks against cigarette. I should not meet with people or be friendly with people, those who do not smoke cigarette. So I create a surrounding in such a way that I am protected with this slavery attitude. And I will be very comfortable to survive, to live my life in this way. Now, in the process, what happens? When I allow my temptation to take over me, I become a slave. And each one can develop in any ways. Because our sense organs, especially all the organs of perceptions, Gyanendriyas, are so powerful to create temptation in me. Starting with publicity, all sort of advertisements. So it creates in such a way that I get tempted, I get dragged. So whenever I am tempted or dragged, now I become weaker. I make myself a slave of that object or that given situation. So here is being highlighted, not allowing oneself to succumb, to become under the spell of one's own temptation. So that is what is being highlighted as freedom from temptation. Then the next one is called Mardavam. Let us go ahead because or else I'll be talking too much, okay? So Mardama means gentleness. So we need to see very carefully. Actually, one has to be gentle. Gentleness does not mean, please understand, that you are weaker. You can be gentle, but you don't have to express your weakness. That's why we say the person should be brajat api kathorani. At the same time, kusumad api mruduni. That's a beautiful way of looking at life. So vajra. So vajrat api. You can say vajra is the weapon of Indra, or we take also vajra also, if you want to take. Harder than, kathora means harder than, stronger than. Vajra, other meaning of vajra is called diamond. So one can be harder than diamond, at the same time softer than a flower. Can you see the difference? How is it possible? Actually, yes, I am. A common person actually is harder, also is softer. How? But in a wrong sense. So when you are a bhokta, bhokta means you are as an enjoyer, you are very soft. Can you see this point? And because you are soft, If anything goes wrong, you are hurt. Whereas when you are a karta, you are a doer, there is a sense of responsibility, you are very stubborn, you are very hard. Can you see this point? So with reference to kartutvam, I am kathora, kathorat api kathora. Whereas with reference to enjoyment, as a bhakta, I am softer than soft objects, which is wrong. It should be other way around. So with reference to enjoyment, as a bhakta, I should be as hard as possible. And with reference to kartutvam, I should be as soft as possible. That is called here gentleness. So when I really make sure, when I do something, when there is a sense of enjoyership involved, there I can be tough. I have to maintain, or else I will be under the spell of enjoyment. Then once I am under the spell of enjoyment, there is insecurity, there is a lot of problem in me, and I will be tough, rude with reference to situation and other people. Like a child is having chocolate. When a child is having chocolate, now tell me, is it soft or hard? In fact, I'll tell you, when child is having especially ice cream, that's the better example, okay? So, with reference to ice cream, what happens? The child becomes much more softer than the ice cream. Now, if anybody tries to take away, or by mistake also you talk something, so he looks at you, then that ice cream falls down, melts down. What happens? Will the child become rude or not? Will shout at or not? Throw something or other not? So that means when I am shocked with reference to enjoyment, I become hard with reference to my deliberation. Clear? A very subtle point to observe. And whenever I am rude, whenever I am not appropriate in any given situation, when I lose my gentleness, not because of anything, not because of bitter experience. Many people say, oh, I was very gentle, but because of my bitter experiences, I have changed. Please, again, don't justify either. It is only because that you are becoming softer with reference to your enjoyment. So that's why the shift has to take place. Let me be harder with reference to enjoyment, and let me become softer with reference to activities, responsibilities. That's why we say, I can forgive anybody and everything, but before forgiving me, I have to think 100 times. And that time I can forgive with a task. Don't forgive yourself just for the sake of forgiving. But generally what we do? With others, we put conditions. I forgive you with these conditions. Whereas when it comes to me, myself, no conditions at all. Does it happen or not? That's why in this way I lose my gentleness. Then comes the next one called Hri. So Hri means modesty. So modesty means one should have a sense of shame. Because we say very carefully, if you don't have shame, definitely you will make more mistakes. That's why when parents start scolding, what they say, don't you feel ashamed of yourself? This is the language, okay? That language is very painful, you understand? If they hit you, beat you, makes no difference. But one word very politely when they say, don't you feel ashamed of yourself? That's all. If you are a sensitive person, if you understand what does it mean, you keep crying, crying, crying. There is no other choice for you. So here we say that developing a sense of shame or maintaining a sense of shame, that is must, because that only will stop a person from doing wrong actions. In fact, nowadays people do wrong things because they are not ashamed of anything. The competitive mind, the proving mentality is so strong in a person. Why should I feel ashamed? For what? For anything and everything there is logic. And that person will continue wrong things. That's why maintaining this modesty, that I am ashamed of myself with my behavior, with reference to my speech, with reference to my dress up, with reference to carrying how I carry myself, with reference to my friend circles, with reference to my food and food habits, with reference to everything. I must have a healthy, remember, a healthy sense of shame. Or else I'll become an asura. Whatever comes to me, let me do it. This body only once I have got, let me enjoy. Let me put the dress I want or no dress. Let me eat whatever I want. What is your problem? So that's why this, of course, Hri is most important thing to look at. Then what happens? Here, the next one is called as Achapalam. So, Achapalam means absence of physical agitation. Because if you observe, many people are available, or they are visible, or their restlessness is visible. That's right, English, okay? The restlessness is visible. Some people bite the, tooth. So the teeth becomes what? Nail cutter. I remember very well long back, those who were cricket fans in India, This Ganguly, one of the fellow was there, okay, as a captain. So all the time he will be keep biting and biting. So there was no nail, okay. So he never, to my knowledge, I don't think that he was using nail cutter, okay. Because this indicates stress. So we say there are two types of that restlessness. So the first level is called mental condition. So when you are restless, disturbed, that is primarily, this is called very ordinary, no problem at all. Then when it is not managed, so it starts overflowing to the body. Now the body becomes restless. Do you know? You shake yourself, okay? And not only that, you also move your body without your knowledge. That's why you can see when you walk, that's why we had a beautiful teaching those days, especially for women, to be very honest. Men was okay, but women was very strictly was followed. Because why? Because women, they are the backbone of the house. We say very carefully, if a man is wrong, nothing much will happen. If a woman goes wrong, not one generation, many generations will go wrong. Disaster. That's why the responsibility of a woman is much, much more. That's why every child, you look at yourself as a child. Did you spend more time with your mother or with your father? Even though nowadays the fathers have become mother, okay? That's very unfortunate thing, okay? How? Coming to the point here is, like when, especially women those days, when walks, men of course the same thing also, but mainly women, while walking, woman is not supposed to make noise. Not allowed. When you are keeping your foot on the earth, it should be as gentle as possible. If a woman is not able to walk properly, that woman cannot talk properly. I can write it down. It is impossible. It will be unpredictable. Because I have seen few things, let me little bit stretch. Because as a young boy, I was part of many selection of these girls when marriage happens. Those days, they will see, I'm talking from Odisha standpoint, okay? Hardly 4 to 5 minutes. The girl will come with completely, sari dressed, the feet will not be visible. And if you ask, what is your name? 3 times after asking, you understand? Nothing you can hear. Little loud. Then next to that one more girl will be there, will prompt it, okay? And sitting like this. And of course, when it comes how the girl walks, whether it's practiced or not, because even if you practice also you will get caught, don't worry. So that seeing in 5 minutes, you can make out the character of the girl in details. And I am telling you openly, by God's grace, I have never gone wrong. Never. Just 5 minutes enough to understand a person. Same thing also with man. Men are not important, okay? They are also equally stupid, okay? How they come with the friend, what they talk, what they don't. Just few minutes you need to understand. That's enough. 5 minutes more than enough. Because there we look at how the person moves, whether the body is restless or not. Because whether mind is restless or not, we don't understand. Because we don't have access into the mind. But we have clear access to the physical expressions. How the person sits down. How the person moves the hand. How the person changes the eyes, look. Each movement the body does has its own impact with the mind. That's why in the teaching tradition, a student by default becomes dumb fellow in front of the teacher. It's a safe way to survive, okay? Because by mistake, if you open your mouth, you are finished. It will not work. So, allowing yourself. It's like I am talking to you people. You can observe based on the thought. My voice modulation, my body movement synchronizes or not. Because if I talk something, my voice is different, hands are different. Will I be able to communicate? That means seriously wrong with me. Just observe yourself. 5 to 10 minutes, you can put a camera, your mobile phone, or you can put a CCTV camera in your drawing hall. Observe yourself for one day. I'm sure you'll remove the camera and throw it out. You'll say, enough. That's why here it's called absence of physical agitation. I have to be very careful. Each step I put, each moment I do, I must be watchful. Then only I will have access to my mind. If I take it for granted, Swamiji, I am old. Swamiji, I am this, I am that, then get lost. You understand? It will not work. Swamiji, our culture is different. This is another word I heard. Our culture is different. Then hold on to your culture, okay? Don't get into this knowledge. It will not work. However, please make sure. Then only next one will come, Tejaha, that is called brilliance. And what is that Tejaha, brilliance? We will see. Om Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.